Comic-Con is happening.
And, well, of course, we already did our big old podcast on the Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, which was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was analysis.
But the trailer was awesome.
Oh, man, it was so good. But,
it kind of just makes you wonder, like, where the hell does Wonder Woman fit in all this?
There is so much juicy stuff in there. I just can't wait to see it.
Because she shows up a couple times and does some stuff, but it's like, the trailer is so focused on Superman and Batman doing their thing. But the thing when Wonder Woman shows up, it's like, whoa, she's doing stuff, but why is she here?
Well, that's what makes that trailer so juicy, because you can watch it over and over again and just analyze the heck out. You and I, we could do like 4 or 5 more videos just analyzing that trailer alone.
Like, okay, yeah, we can make a whole video about the Robin suit that we saw.
That was great too. But good thing too is that there's been other DC news that came out of Comic-Con. First one I want to talk about though, as I think is so awesome. There's going to be a big crossover.
Yeah, comic books. I found out about this one a few days early. Like, apparently it got leaked.
It's one of those things where you hear it, you first think, oh, they're not.
I wasn't pulling the fake card right away. In fact, I was pretty sure that it was real.
I was a little more hesitant because I've seen,
the artwork looked a little too good to be fake.
Okay, but go ahead.
Like, and we're definitely nowhere near around April, so. So yeah, I was pretty sure it was legit. Mm-hmm. So now that we have found out that it is legit, we're gonna have a comic book crossover between Batman and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Thank you, DC and IDW. That is awesome. Oh, it's gonna have. I'm sure it's gonna have something to do with like different dimensions.
Oh yeah.
So I heard it has something to do with Krang.
Like, that's kind of funny. So okay, we've had the Turtles crossover with the Power Rangers, and now Batman. So
Batman and its we've been kind of talking about the funny crossovers that we've seen. Batman
versus Predator.
Batman did Predator, which I knew about. Yeah. We knew about Superman and Terminator.
Superman versus the Terminator, which lasted longer than it should have.
The funny one is this one:
Superman versus the Aliens. Which I gotta check that out.
Could you imagine if a facehugger somehow managed to plant an egg inside of Superman? If it tried to burst through Superman's chest, it couldn't. And then Superman just like fly into the sun and just burn it and just come back out. There was this really awesome picture of like a face hugger trying to jump at Darkseid. Darkseid just caught it and just crushed it. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Like, really? I mean, it sounds cool, but how the Xenomorph's gonna deal with these Superman and Darkseid?
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. I mean, the only way that this could possibly work.
Batman and Predator. Okay. Going off on top of it, I thought of what would be a really cool crossover. How about this one? Resident Evil cross Predator. Where a Predator comes down and it sees Chris Redfield destroying the zombies, and it kind of starts following him. I can see that happening. Because Predators are big game hunters. That's what they are.
So basically, it'd just be like Nemesis again.
Yeah, with a Predator.
Yeah, basically just be like Nemesis again.
That'd be awesome. But anyway.
Call me crazy, but I think Nemesis is more badass than Predator.
That'd be fun.
Nemesis, you don't Nemesis, man. Nemesis is that guy you don't want to see.
But Batman and Ninja Turtles, just seeing Batman and Raphael in the same comic together.
I'd be surprised, because I'm just like, does Batman have the patience to put up with the Turtles? Because they're teenagers, and
that's gonna be funny.
Maybe he's got Robins.
Will Nightwing, will Batgirl be there?
Whoa, dude! It's like the Batman.
Oh my God! Look at Batgirl. My shell's getting so tight.
It's Batman, guys.
He's doing his Batman voice.
That's what was cool. So Batman, I can imagine Batman talking to Master Splinter like Sensei and sort of exchanging moves or thoughts.
There has got to be a scene between Alfred and Splinter. I'm sorry. just talking. Just to have them just talk together.
Maybe, but I could totally see like a scene between Splinter and Batman just because of their knowledge.
Oh yeah, there is so much grace. Splinter taking on the Shredder. The Batman's Rogue Gallery facing the Ninja Turtles.
Batman kicked Shredder's ass.
Still, it'd just be a fun thing to see.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Okay.
So we can imagine Batman and Shredder probably fight. What Batman villains would the Turtles have to take on?
Well, I would think of Killer
Slade.
Croc, Penguin.
Killer Croc versus Leatherhead.
Yeah. Maybe Solomon Grundy. Other Scarecrow. That'd be interesting.
The fear toxin on the Turtles. What would that look like? What would fear toxin on Splinter. I'm curious. What is he afraid of?
Wow. I had to do something with his family. That'd be a great moment. So yeah, I mean, Batman versus Turtles. I mean,
no, Batman and Turtles.
We
don't know if it's a fight.
No, Batman and Turtles. Yeah, but you said it yourself.
Oh yeah, I was like, yeah, like come on, Batman and the Teenage Mutant Turtles teaming up. You're stupid. I'm down.
This is so dumb, but I love it. This is great. So wow. Yeah, I'm totally for it.
I don't have no idea what this is about, how it's gonna work, but it's cool. Like we all love crossovers.
Now and then this other one is kind of interesting too. They're going to make an animated movie based on Batman: The Killing Joke.
Well, at least
that comes out next year.
Well, at least with that, we'd finally get a definitive answer on the ending.
I don't know. I just think that it's very interesting that they're doing that, considering the controversy that happened earlier this year.
What?
On the Batgirl comic book.
Oh, yeah. That.
Yeah, they did a variant cover that's a tribute to The Killing Joke, where Joker is like holding Batgirl. He's got painted a smile on her face, and he looks really scared. Well, it was meant to be an ode to The Killing Joke, but many people saw it as Batgirl being victimized. And there was this huge cry, and now a lot of it from social justice warriors, to be saying. But
if anything, that would make the film be more successful.
And so they took it down. They canceled the variant. Well, the artist himself requested it. So I'm just really surprised that they're doing that. I would think that The Killing Joke would be something that they're just trying to distance themselves from, but that actually do an animated movie, that's pretty ballsy. That's pretty.
I feel like
it's a tough story. You and I watched a
an
audio drama of it. It's a tough story.
Yeah, I think they're gonna tame it down a little.
Well, I understand. It's not really a great Batgirl story.
She's not in it really. I mean, she's in it. She gets shot, and then
it's a very important event, but it's not a great Batgirl story. She very much is the victim. It's very much focused on Joker and his relationship with Batman and
Joker's origin.
Joker's origin and what happens to Jim Gordon.
Joker's origin.
Yeah, Joker's origin and what happens to Jim Gordon.
Yeah.
So,
I wonder if they're gonna do that in the movie. Is Joker's origin, because you know how the audio drama or the comic book in general, it would cut off at certain points and start telling past stories with Joker, Jack,
right,
and his wife.
So just the fact they're going there, it's kind of interesting.
I don't know. It's a darker comic, but I don't know if it's the darkest comic I've ever seen, or the darkest story I've ever heard.
It's a controversial one. People love it. People hate it.
Spoiler warning. What happens in the comic, if you haven't seen it or if you don't really have the time to look it up, what happens is Batman gets to the point where he's seeing the fight between him and the Joker kind of going on as a cycle, to the point where one day either he's going to kill him or vice versa. Mm-hmm. And he wants to see if there's a way to ultimately stop it once and for all, and he's willing to talk to him. However, he rarely gets the chance to even see the Joker. Mm. However, Joker keeps on having flashbacks about his past life. Whether or not he's actually experiencing the flashbacks, it just shows us his past, where he used to have a life as Jack. Life's not going so well. He quit his well-paying job to be a comedian, and he's a failure as a comedian. He has a wife, Jeannie, who's pregnant, gonna have a child soon. Can't afford to get him out of the bad neighborhood, and so he gets himself mixed up with some bad guys to do something at Axis Chemicals in order to get some more money. They get caught. Batman comes in and tries to save the day. Jack freaks out and falls over, and it's Joker's origin. He gets away, and then he comes out looking like a monster. Meanwhile, in the present time of the Killing Joke, Joker's trying to prove a point. So what he does is he sneaks, him with some goons, he sneaks into the Jim Gordon's building, shoots Barbara in the pelvis, which goes through her spine, turning her forever into Oracle. and they capture Jim Gordon. But before they leave, Jim Gordon is dragged out by the thugs, and Joker proceeds to strip Barbara down completely naked and take a lot of very grotesque pictures of her in weird positions that's messed up. While she fell down on broken glass too, so she's bleeding and very sad looking. Ultimately, what happens is they at the park where Joker's hideout is, they strip down Jim Gordon naked for the entire to kind of show man in its gruesome state, and then they put him on a ride in the like a scary ride, and they show all these really blown up pictures of Barbara nude to her father, and it's really terrible. So yeah, that's the controversial part about this whole thing, and of course another controversial part is the ending, because it's ambiguous whether or not Batman kills the Joker. Whether it happens or not is up to you, because it doesn't really show much. So yeah, that's the Killing Joke. Now they're going to turn that into an animated movie. I think they're going to tame it, like make it more tame, because it's kind of what they did. Like Superman Doomsday, that movie I thought was kind of lame. They made it more tame. They cut a lot of stuff out. Superman versus the Elite, great long story. They cut it down a little, made the animation look a little cheesy. So yeah, I think they're going to cut some corners on it. And that's pretty much my opinion on it. Like, I'll let you know when I see it.
Another announcement they made is that they're going to do a Green Lantern Corps movie.
Okay. Green Lantern Corps, actually.
Actually, yeah. I thought it was Corps, but yeah, the way it's spelled looks like Corps. Yeah, Green Lantern Corps. I thought that's a pretty good way to go. I always wanted to see that, actually. Okay. It's like, there's all these different... Everyone's, well, Hal Jordan's the definitive Green Lantern. John Stewart's the Green Lantern. Well, why not have them all? Have Hal Jordan.
Have the gay one.
have Kyle Rayner. Have, Alan, I think his name's Alan.
Alan Scott.
Alan Scott, yeah. Bring them all then, because I've always seen Green Lantern. To me, a Green Lantern movie should be like an intergalactic cop movie, because that's what they are. They're intergalactic cops.
Yeah, I think they, with the Ryan Reynolds movie, I think they did the wrong thing, like plot-wise, making it like a single character movie. That's what they probably should have did. They probably should have went intergalactic cop with it, where he's doing investigations around planets. Right. And trying to took it seriously, but trying to solve a mystery.
Well, dude, the best part of that movie was all the stuff with the Green Lantern Corps. We are the Corps. That was the best part of it, and that was kind of brushed over,
Yeah, so
I'm looking forward to it.
Live action?
It's gonna be like, it's all live action. This is all part of the DC cinematic universe. It's the same universe with Batman.
I thought they were going animated
Squad. With it. It's all gonna be in the same thing.
All right, yeah, good. Then that's how they should do it.
Right. Also, speaking of the DC Cinematic Universe, there's gonna be a solo Batman movie. We all know that. It's going to be directed and co-written by Ben Affleck, which I'm really cool with.
I'm fine with it.
He's gonna co-write it with Jeff Johns.
Okay.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Well, it's Batman. Come on, we're still not done milking the bat cow.
What makes me excited is Ben Affleck. I always thought he was a very good actor. He's an even better director. He is an Academy Award-winning director. He's actually won an Oscar for his director. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can do with it. The next big thing that happened other than Batman vs. Superman is that they revealed stuff for Suicide Squad.
Which they're keeping under wraps.
Yeah, they're keeping under wraps. Like, oh shoot, I have more of a love for Suicide Squad than Will does. I think that's kind of fair to say.
Yeah, I don't dislike them.
I'm a regular follower of the comics. That was a real funny moment though. In the last issue of Superman Wonder Woman, and I showed it to Will, because it's another comic apparently Superman is being hunted by the government, so at the very end, guess who the government brings in to capture him? The Suicide Squad. Will looked at that and said, well, you guys are named right. Suicide Squad.
Well, you got the proper name.
But apparently
it's like showing the Assassin the Masters of Death. Well, you guys are the Masters of Death. You sure showed me how to die.
Yeah. This is suicide. You guys going after Superman and Wonder Woman. But...
Well, you guys are right. You sure showed me how to commit suicide.
Well, apparently that was also really went over really well. Apparently there was a lot of stuff with Amanda Waller, kind of showing the entire crew. I'll be honest with you, Will. I'm just as excited for Suicide Squad as I am for Batman vs Superman.
I'm excited. I'll be excited when I see something.
Right. Exactly. Like, when we see a trailer and stuff.
Because I saw the animated Suicide Squad movie. I liked it a lot. Yeah.
It's a really good concept.
It turned into a Batman movie at the end of it. But.
Kind of toward the end, but yeah, it's always been a great concept. I like rooting for the bad guys. I like anti-heroes and antagonists.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I liked the movie. I thought it was really good.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Jared Leto's take on the Joker, because I'm really hoping they do Dark Knight Returns Joker, because he was probably the most evil Joker that ever put to screen or put to.
Second if not first to Heath Ledger. Like he was a nut.
Right. So I'm really looking forward to that. But like we'll say, it's kind of hard to get excited until we actually see something.
I know, like, okay, yeah, you're showing me mug shots of the cast who's in their suits.
And they look great. They look great.
You're showing me the Joker, like looking like that, like.
I know the Joker's kind of I kind of see what they're going with. Not crazy about the tats. I like the costumes that they have because they're not supposed to look like superheroes. They're supposed to look like street. I see street gang. I see we're gonna curb stomp your face in if you look at us funny. That's what I want to see when I look at Suicide Squad. You know.
Yet at the same time, I'm hoping that they dress up their outfits a little bit just to make them recognizable. Because if they look too much like that, you're gonna have a little bit of a problem telling who's who.
Yeah, that's true. They gotta have the main things. I know Harley's gonna have multiple costumes, which is right because Harley always has multiple costumes. As a matter of fact, in the comic book, she made kind of fun of that. Like, I don't get these superheroes. How can they wear the same thing every single day?
Like Deadshot, you'll obviously know because
Deadshot
Will Smith's name carries, so you'll know who that is. But all the rest of the guys, you got to dress them up so that we know who's who.
Right. Now, the last thing I want to talk about with this thing is actually something probably not totally with Comic-Con, but it's something that we heard about recently, and I wanted to bring this up too. There has been a rumor about them possibly making a new Superman video game. I don't know if it's been debunked or if it's not.
No, it hasn't been. But there's been like a GIF showing a little bit of a mugshot, which some people stated probably could have been from the Infinite Crisis game, which nobody's confirmed.
There's been talk about maybe like Warner Brothers Montreal.
Yeah, which not happy about.
Yeah, they're the ones behind Batman Arkham Origins.
Not too excited about that.
And Arkham Origins is an okay game other than the bug. There's a couple of bugs and glitches, but it's basically a poor man's version of Arkham City. It's still playable, you know. But,
I rather would have got Rocksteady to do it.
But you know, my whole thought in this was I think it's about damn time.
You know, I think it's about damn time, but I'm cautious, very cautious.
I'll let you roll on this one. Go ahead and
all right, because hearing that Warner Brothers Montreal might be interested, I'm just like, oh damn it, because now we're gonna get a half-ass one. Now it's not gonna be as good as it is because Arkham Origins graphically looked heavily weaker than any of the other Arkham games. In fact, it's not even viewed as the Arkham trilogy. It's just
it's just kind of its own thing.
Yeah, which that's not good. Great.
But there is so much untapped potential when it comes to Superman. Superman games, honestly, and this might get us racked in the mouth of this, I don't think Superman games as a whole have been that bad.
Not a lot of them.
I think what happened is that Superman 64 was just so legendarily terrible that it's kind of like
ruined the reputation of any.
I'll throw another thing at you. It kind of reminds me of Castlevania. How everyone says that Castlevania 3D games suck so hard. Yeah. Well, I think because the first one, the one on Nintendo 64, went over so badly, it kind of put a cloud over it. Because there's actually a couple of pretty good Castlevania.
When I was talking to Vash, he put up an interesting analogy. Like, imagine if you're a father and you need a babysitter. Yeah. And you had two choices. You had one babysitter who had a complete clean record, nothing wrong in the background. But you had another babysitter who wasn't convicted of anything, but was rumored to have done child pornography and stuff. But then, and was going through all of that trial and stuff, and you knew about it. But then it was eventually revealed that it was ultimately cleared, didn't do anything. Still, which one are you going to ultimately go with?
I see what you mean. That is a good one. Listen, we did a review of Superman: The Man of Steel for the Xbox, and we stand by that. That's actually is
one of the greatest.
A very good game.
A very good game. Now, the thing about these Superman games, though, is that even though they are legitimately good games, I will say that you still will have to be a good Superman fan to enjoy them. Anybody else probably won't see the same enjoyment.
Well, the thing about this game too is that it's going to have to be I heard about it being like an open world game. It would have to be a very big game because in order to do it justice, I would do open world where you can fast travel from the United States to Russia, or from Russia to Africa, or from Africa to Europe, and from Europe to South Africa.
And I'm talking Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh, big time, big.
You'd have to make it a big place.
Big, like Spider-Man 2 for the PS2. Do that, but on a world scale,
much grander scale.
You know, doing different tasks and doing different things, and like I said,
we kind of had that with Superman Returns, but Superman Returns was.
Superman 2 was not done well. It was not done well. But yeah, I would just have that huge focus because if you're Superman, you want that huge focus, you know, because Superman's just like us. He just does things on a bigger level. So I would totally see it happening. It would be a big game. It would be a lot to go into it, but it would be
the hard part.
Doable.
The hard part is how do you lose?
Because Superman can be beaten.
Yeah, he can be, but it's not. We're not talking like Batman, or hey, he can be beaten down with a few punches. Superman can't go down that way. Not to a thug.
They would have to find ways around it. Sometimes he might be beaten if he fights very strong opponents that can beat him. Maybe you would lose time trials. You would not be able to complete objectives. Maybe the city or the surrounding area would take too much damage.
Well, because we tried the health gauge for the city.
Maybe too many people would die, or they'd be they would have to get creative. They would have to find other ways around it other than just the straight up beat.
Because the NES game kind of did it in a clever way, where like you kind of like you don't like the way they did it in the NES game was kind of clever, where you ultimately didn't die. You just kind of retreated. Like you started off as Superman, really strong, but the more you took damage, the more you started losing your energy, and like the weaker your powers started becoming. And ultimately, when they were at their weakest, you were kind of just basically Clark Kent without any sort of abilities. And then once your power reached zero, you kind of retreated back to the Daily Planet.
You could do that. Maybe that you lose your energy after a while. Or what's worse for Superman? Losing, dying, or failing?
Failing.
I think it's failing. Superman fails to save, the country of Brazil or the continent, the country of Brazil or something, or So I think it's possible. They just got to put some thought into it.
Yeah, like I'd like to see a new Superman game. I wish Rocksteady would have been behind it. I'd like to see, like in the Arkham games, like a whole bunch of references to other great things.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I know that Lex Luthor makes an appearance in Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, the LexCorp buildings are there. So okay, so that's confirmation. The Arkham series is not a standalone universe. It's
excellent.